Hello everyone, my name is Ernesto from English for You, Executive Language Center, and today we're going to learn how to use the prepositions in, on, at. So, let's get started. Please remember, visit our webpage on EnglishForYouNow.com, or if you want to get some free lessons, you can visit us at EnglishForYouNow.teachable.com. Again, my name is Ernesto, and today on this lesson, you guys are going to learn how to use in, on, at. Here we go. So many times the students have asked me when to use these prepositions in a sentence. Well, to be honest, that's pretty easy. Here we go. First of all, we have to divide and in time or location. Let's get started with the preposition in. When we use the preposition in, it's because we're talking about a general idea, something that is big. For example, talking about time, we're going to talk about the century. So for example, you can say in the 1900s, or another century, for example, in the 1800s, or in the 2000s. So remember, we're going to use the preposition in when you're talking about centuries. Also, we're going to use in, remember, to describe a general idea, talking about time. In this case, we're going to use in to talk about decades. For example, in the 90s, or in the 80s, or in the 70s, for example. So remember, you can use in to describe decades. Also, if you want to describe years, you can also use the preposition in. And for example, in 1977, in 2019, in 1999. All right? So in to express a general idea talking about time. You can also use in when you are describing months. In January, in February, in September. Now remember, you are not giving a specific date. You are just giving a general day, a general time. In September, in March, etc. Now, when we refer to weeks, we also use in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 5 weeks. Remember, we're giving the idea of general time. It's not something specific. Now, let's talk about location. Talking about location, we're going to say, for example, in and then a country. In Mexico, in Canada, in Brazil. When we talk about cities, for example, in Washington, in Mexico City, in Buenos Aires, or when we're talking about neighborhoods, for example, in Beverly Hills. Again, we're using in to describe a general idea, either giving time or expressing time and expressing location. When are we going to use on? We're going to use the preposition on when we want to give an idea of something more specific. Again, let's pay attention talking about time or location. So, talking about time, as you can see here, we're going to use it for days. As you can see, when you express the date, it's because you're giving a more specific idea of time. For example, on October 1st, 1977. I'm not giving only the century, or I'm not giving only the year. I'm giving a complete date. On October the 1st, 1977. Or when you want to give a specific date or celebration, for example, on Christmas, on New Year. All right? So remember, this is for more specific idea of time. Also, when we want to talk about days, remember, we're going to use in for month. We're going to use the preposition on for days. On Monday, on Saturday, on Tuesday, on Sunday. And also, when we want to talk about weekend, for example, on the weekend. Remember, the weekend is Saturday and Sunday. How about when we're talking about location? Well, again, it's something more specific talking about location. In this case, we're going to talk about the street. For example, on Jefferson Street, on Clinton Street, on the First Street, on Wall Street. Or when you're giving avenues, on the Fifth Avenue, on Broadway Avenue. As you can see, I'm not just giving a general idea of location. Now I'm giving a more specific location. That's why we're using the preposition on. What about at? Well, at, as you can see, it's even more specific than on. So remember, in is for a general idea, on for a more specific idea, and at for a very specific idea of time and location. So when we want to express time in hours, at 7 o'clock in the morning, at noon, which remember noon is 12 o'clock in the day. If you're talking about 12 o'clock at night, that's midnight, at midnight, but in the day is at noon, or at 9:30 in the evening, or at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm giving a more specific idea of time. What about for location? Well, for location, as you can see, we're going to use the preposition at to give a complete address. At 902 Sherman Oaks Street, that's a complete address. Not only the country, or not only the city, which is a general idea of location, not only the street, or not only the avenue. In this case, I'm giving a complete address. Or we're going to use the preposition at to specify locations. For example, at the school, at the restaurant. Very good. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this lesson. I hope it's worth it for you. And remember to reach us either Telegram or via phone call at 427-150-5585. We're in Mexico, so this is our country code, 52. If you're already in Mexico, well, then just dial the number, 427-150-5585, in case you want to take more lessons or you want to take part of our group. Or you can also follow us in our webpage at EnglishForYouNow.com. Also, if you want to take some additional free lessons, you can join us at EnglishForYouNow.teachable.com. Remember, my name is Ernesto from English for You Executive Language Center. It was a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you.